What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about this golden hour glow. I love the sun. I love chasing it. I love the way it makes me feel. I'm a warm soul. I know the sun gets a bad rep and I do protect myself from it, but it doesn't stop me from loving it. These types of looks are my favorite that just look so soft and effortless and just look beautiful no matter what time of the day. If you like videos like these, make sure to give them a big thumbs up and let's just get into the look. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep the skin. Now I'm currently on a retinoid, so I'm breaking out a little bit. I'm getting slight dryness, but not too much. So I want to make sure that I'm prepping the skin, that it's going to remain looking soft and supple, and it'll also help with the covering of any of the blemishes that are popping up. So to help with any dryness, I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Primer Oil. I love this stuff, especially if you're dry or if you just suffer with texture in general anywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. Just really kind of tap it into the skin too. Then I'm going to go in with my Elysian Continuum finishing treatment. Now this is going to provide me with softness, smooth. It's got anti-aging benefits in here, so it's going to help with some of these spots. It's truly an amazing product. So what I do is I just take a little bit and I'm going to put it in that area where I do have some texture going on. And like I said, it's just going to give a really nice, smooth, soft layer on the skin. It's really important to prep the skin, and especially when you are breaking out, because when we put the makeup on, you're not going to see any flaky, crusty dryness. It's going to smooth over those spots, and it's going to help to cover them a lot better. So now I'm going to start with the eyes first. I'm going to take my e.l.f. concealer. This is the Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Light Beige. I actually really like using this concealer as a base for my eyeshadows. I find that my eyeshadows don't crease, they wear well with this, or you can just use a primer if you have one of those. So I was really gonna try and use a different palette today, but I can't stop putting this one down. So we're gonna be using the Supreme's Nude palette by Couture. I just love these colors, and especially for a look like this, they have the perfect tones for that golden hour look. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my Smith 232 brush really quick, and we're gonna dip into this shade. I believe it's called Exposed, yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just give like a light, quick dusting in the center just to kind of set that concealer and leave it kind of light and bright right there. Same brush, I'm gonna go in with Stripped. This one is a nice, soft, warm shade. I love this shade because I don't really have a lot of soft warms, especially now in this industry. A lot of palettes were really leaning towards the warm, and they were like extremely warm, where if you're somebody who typically likes cooler tone looks but you want to dabble into some warmth, like this is the perfect shade because it's not that orangey warmth, but it does have a really nice just soft bronze warmth, but it's, you know, right in the middle. But I'm just bringing this kind of all over in the upper crease, bringing it up to the brow, even pushing it into the brow. And I'm sweeping it outwards because I like that elongated shape. Everything that I usually do with all my eyeshadows, I like it to be that nice little cat eye look. So if you don't like that, you can just go ahead and tuck it right there. But I'm just going to be pushing them out towards the temples. Same brush again, I'm going to be dipping into Nudist. This is a little bit warmer than the first shade. And I'm just going to go ahead lightly mix it into each other just to get a really nice soft gradient warm feel right through here. Grabbing the Smith 230 brush, we are going to be dipping into this shade right here. It's called Silhouette. It's a little bit cooler, so I kind of want to break up some of that warmth and just bring this shade in here, and I'm going to focus it more right here, kind of smack dab in the crease, and then also wing it out this way, but just keeping it nice and tucked just to give a little bit more depth to that crease. And again, just to break up a little bit of that warmth. Now I'm going to take this Sigma E27 brush, and I'm going to be using all of the shades that we did here, and we're going to be focusing this right on the lash line. So I'm going to kind of dip into Stripped and Silhouette first, which is these two, and I'm going to just push this right along the lash line. I'm not really worried about being too precise. I just want to create some type of shadow and definition, and then also bringing it right where the crease shadow meets and just kind of pushing that out this way. Then I'm going to grab Nudist, which is a little bit of that warmer shade, and I'm going to push that right on top, again, just to bring a little bit of warmth as well to the lash line. Now I'm gonna grab the Sigma E21 brush. So it's gonna be a little bit smaller of a brush. We're gonna be a little bit more precise now. I'm gonna go into Mink, and I'm going to go ahead and push this right along the lash line, really give that lash line some definition. Since I'm not going to be using any eyeliner, I really like using just darker eyeshadows to give that nice deepened look. And then of course, just bringing it outwards as well. I'll be creating a little soft wing with this. So take your time and just build up the depth within this color. Once you have that built up, I'm gonna go back in with the Sigma E27 brush. There's nothing on it, just whatever's left on there. And I'm gonna lightly go over that Mink shade just to help soften it and blow it out, especially around the wing area. I don't really want to soften up here. I want it to maintain the darkness, but just on the wing, I kind of want it to fade out. Now we are going to call in the cleanup crew, where I just take a little bit of oil on this cotton round, and we're going to clean this up and give it a nice sharp wing look. This is my easy, lazy way of getting that perfect elongated eye. Now moving on to the face, I'm gonna be going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in the shade 3. For that golden hour, I really like the skin just to beam from within, and that's exactly what this is going to give me. So I'm just gonna kind of put it a little bit everywhere. If you're a more oily combination skin and you don't like to glow, just put this more on the high points of the face. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it all in. I've actually never put this all over my face before. I would like to see what it would look like if I did kind of use it like a foundation. Maybe that's something to do for another look. I also really love how this product kind of blurs the skin, and you can't really see it on camera, but if you saw it in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like any imperfections, any dark marks, it just gives this like smoothing effect over it. But again, I think it has to do with the glow and just how it light reflects, but it really does make the skin look softer. For foundation, I'm gonna be mixing these two, which is my favorite foundations. If you're new to my channel, I am a huge mixer. I mix everything together. It's my own personal concoction. So this is the Skin Forever Glow from Dior. It's in the shade 2W, and then the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this is in the shade Warm Nude. Before I mix these shades together though, I do want the foundation to be a little bit more of a bronzy feel. So this is what this product comes into play. So this is the CoverFX Bronze Drops. If you guys aren't familiar with these, when these first came out like years ago, it was the new hot thing. I worked at Sephora at the time, and it was one of my favorite products to recommend to my clients, especially during the summertime, that if you are somebody who only has one foundation, but you do fluctuate within your skin tones from having a tan to not, this is going to be your favorite best friend. You could just take that foundation that you have, put a drop, and it's going to darken your foundation. But it darkens it in a way that is just so soft and subtle and gives this beautiful, just soft, bronzy veil. So it's not like too intense. You could make it intense by how much that you put in, but it really does just amp it up a little bit more. So this is in the shade Sunkissed, and make sure to shake it up because it does have more of an oil base, and so it does separate. So I have it all mixed on my pan, just lightly spread out. You don't have to use a lot of this product or a lot of foundation in general, but it'll be the perfect match now. I also self-tan a lot, so I feel like this product is just much needed for somebody like me, because again, I do fluctuate from being light to dark. And even during this quarantine, like I'm still self-tanning once a week. I'm not giving that up. I at least need to feel a little good while I'm stuck in this house. Now that we have a beautiful soft layer on the skin, let's conceal. I'm gonna be going in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Light Beige. I'm gonna focus this here around my nose. I get a lot of redness there. And then chin, because my makeup always lifts on my chin. And then I'm just gonna focus on these little bitty breakouts that I've been getting from the retinoid. I want to add a little bit of brightness though, so I'm going to go in with this ColourPop concealer. This is in the shade Light 16, and I just kind of focus it right there, maybe a little bit on the nose and the Cupid's bow. So I've only been using the retinoid for about a week. If you follow me on Instagram, you've heard me talk about it quite a few times now. I'm using the Differin gel. I've been recommended that since I was 16. My only problem and issue with that product was I was never using it correctly, so I was always getting the really bad side effects. So redness, irritation, overly dry. Like you'll have some dryness when you're using a retinoid at first, but it was like over the top. I just felt like nobody ever really took the time to sit and explain it to me when I was younger. I mean, I guess I could have looked it up on myself, but usually when you're that young, you're really relying on the professional to tell you. So I actually watched a Dr. Dre video and she explained it so perfectly. And I was like, where have you been my entire life? I really like her. If you don't follow her already, she's amazing with skincare advice. Like she's my favorite go-to when I have any questions about anything. So now that I'm on it, I'm actually seeing the results that you're supposed to get with very minimal side effects. So I'm really excited to see. It's one of those products, though, that you have to be using quite a while to actually see results. So it's not something that you can use for a week and be like, okay, I'm good. Like you'll be seeing results 3-4 months in. So it's going to be a little bit of a journey, but I'm really excited to see like how my skin transforms. All right, so now we're going to contour and just bronze up here. So two of my favorite ways to contour, I like to do a cream first before the powder. I think when you combine them together, it really gives you long-lasting results and just like really flawless look. So my two favorite go-tos right now is the YSL one. This is my favorite. It's the stick foundation. It's in shade B65. It is my favorite product of all time. But I do want to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to be using the Neutrogena one. This is a great kind of dupe for it. It's not exactly, but it's pretty damn close. And if you're not looking for exact dupes, then you should get the Neutrogena one. So this is in the shade Chestnut, and it's going to give me that perfect, like deeper bronze look that I'm looking for. Grabbing my Rephr 04 brush, and I like to dip into the product. I actually don't prefer putting it on the skin first. I feel like when you do it this way, you get to actually control how much product that you're using and where you're using it instead of just having it kind of everywhere and looking like a hot mess, if you will. And I feel like when you do it this way, it's so much easier to blend. Like it takes me 2 seconds to blend something out now, and then I just move on to the next section of my face, where I feel like a lot of times when people do apply it directly to the skin, they're sitting there blending it and blending it and blending it out, and I'm like, it's gotta be tiring. This is just way easier for me. The light in here is being really crazy. It's like a on and off cloudy and sunny day, so sorry if the light's kind of acting up in here. Now to set the face, I love going in with my RCMA No Color Powder. It's my favorite setting powder that I've ever used, honestly. It's so light, and especially somebody like me where I am a lot more on the drier side, or I can be at least. I would say I'm normal, but I can lean towards dry. This will never make me look dry or cakey or anything. So I just like to go in with a quick light layer and dab where I want to set the areas. And then I'll go in with a little bit more, and then I will kind of pack it on in the areas where I know that will lift, especially like around my nose because I do have allergies. Basically what I'm doing is I'm baking in those areas, but I don't put like a lot of powder down. It's just a little bit more than what I initially put on. And then I'll go in with my Charlotte Flawless Powder. This is going to leave the skin looking so airbrushed, especially during that beautiful golden hour. The sun usually does airbrush you as is, but this gives like what the sun would give to you. Does that make sense? I feel like when you step out into the sun, when it's just hitting that golden hour, your skin looks soft and flawless and beautiful. And that's what this gives me. Just a really nice soft veil to set everything and just looking beautifully airbrushed. Now we're gonna bronze, which is my favorite step, of course. I'm going to be doing this in layers, so bear with me here. The first layer I'm gonna go in with is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Bronzer, Butter. This is the Butter Bronzer. It's in the shade Bronzer. So what I like to do is I start off with a softer, lighter bronzer because I like to build in layers. And when you build in layers, you get a really nice, beautiful depth within the skin, and it looks more airbrushed and soft and not as like, you know, when it just looks like bronzer. I don't like that look. I want it to just be soft and blended. So I always like to start with a softer one, kind of get it everywhere, just very, very lightly. And that will be our first layer. Now I'm gonna go in with a second bronzer. This is gonna be a little bit darker than the first. This is the Urban Decay one. This is in the shade Sunkissed. And this is, by the way, my Crown 500 brush. So now I'm gonna be applying this everywhere that I put the Physicians Formula bronzer. Just building up in layers. Then for the final bronzer, which I'm so excited, it's brand new in my collection. It's the CoverFX Duos. Oh, these are so amazing. So this is in the shade Sunkissed. I feel like I've used so many things called Sunkissed today. That's crazy. Anyway, so you have this beautiful duo where you have a matte and you have this, I wouldn't call shimmer, I wouldn't call highlight. It just gives a beautiful sheen glow. I personally love that glow, so I love to mix these two. So I'm gonna be taking my Japanese highlighting brush, kind of dipping into both, but be careful because this is pigmented. And what I'm gonna do is lightly kind of pat, swipe, blend, and really just build up that color. And why I'm tapping versus just blending it out is because this really is super pigmented, and I find the best way to apply something like this would be just soft tapping motions. So I'm just gonna quickly dust away this powder that I had sitting here, and now we're gonna go ahead and with highlighter. I'm gonna be taking my Morphe 510 brush and I'm gonna be going into this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. This is my favorite highlighter I think I own. I have so many highlighters and I love them all for different reasons, but I find this one to be way more universal for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig this in here, and I'm going to put this kind of everywhere, just very light layers though, and I'm just going to hover right on the highest points, but then drag it into the bronzer just to give a beautiful seamless glow. And because I like to glow, I will lightly bring it here right above the brows. I've honestly never had a better glow than a Charlotte Glow. Maybe we should make that trending, Charlotte Glow, because she is the queen of glow products in my opinion. Now we're gonna add some color to the face. So we're gonna be dipping another one of my newest products. I love these guys. They're so beautiful. So this is a blush duo in the shade Warm Honey. I like that it's going to be a lot warmer because during that golden hour, it'll just really look so golden. No, but this is like the perfect golden hour blush. And again, with the duo to give that nice glow is just stunning. So I'm gonna grab my Rephr 05 brush, lightly dip into this because again, these are super pigmented. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap this right in the areas. What I'm doing first though is grabbing the matte, working this where I want my blush, so right in the apples, and then pushing it into the bronzer. And nowadays I really keep my blush higher. It's a trend that's going on and I really, really like it. So I just pack it on all throughout here. You can even bring it on the nose if you'd like, but just be careful around the nose. I feel like sometimes people overdo it and it really looks like your nose is sunburned. But you know what? Whatever look floats your boat, I'm here for it. So now that I got that initial layer on, now I'm gonna go into that glow part of it and just, actually we're gonna sweep this one. I feel like it's better for this specific one to be swept, whereas the matte to be pressed, and you can kind of sweep this. Now that I have the face basically done, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. I did just do a updated brow tutorial, so I will link it for you guys above, but then we'll be back to finish the eyes and the lips. Okay, brows are on, so we can finish the eyes. So I saved the best part for last, and it was totally unintentional. This is something that I would do before I did my full face, but it's just one of those days where I wasn't thinking. So of course I'm gonna leave the messiest part for the last part, so great. But this is what's gonna give your eyes that beautiful beaming glow. This is new to my collection, but it's not a new product. This is from Dose of Colors. It's their Eyedeal duos where you get the primer and the pigment at the bottom, and I love this. I was actually wearing it in my last video and I had a lot of compliments of people just like DMing me on Instagram being like, are you going to make a video? And I'm like, yes, absolutely, because I really, really love these. I just got these probably like 2 weeks ago, so I'm excited to be playing with it again. For this sake though, I will not be using the primer. This is what it looks like. I'm just going to be using it dry all over the eyes, maybe mixed with a little bit of wet, but you can do either or. But before I do that, I'm just going to take a little bit of setting powder really quick, put it under my eyes so that if I do get fallout, it could just be wisped, why couldn't I say that? Wisped away. So I'm just gonna dot it real quick. I don't like typically doing this because I can get really dry under eyes, but I have no other option right now since, you know, we waited till last minute to do this. So this is what I knew I should have done it. Knew I shouldn't have done it. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Anyway, so this is the ColourPop E4 brush. I'm just going to be dipping into here really quick, really just kind of pushing it on the brush, then kind of any excess, and we're just gonna tap it right on the eye, kind of being generous all over the lid with it, even bringing it into the crease because I want this to be like an all over glow look. I'm not really keeping it saturated in one area. So again, this is dry, just tapping it onto the eye, pushing it into the crease all over the lid. And then you can use your fingers if you want it, keep it a little bit more saturated. But again, I just want it to be like a soft veil of shimmer. By the way, this is in the color Shell. I wasn't sure if I said it or not. And even if I forget to say something, I will always have it in the description so you guys can always just see it there. So I'm just gonna quickly get this off before my eyes turn to the Sahara Desert. I'm gonna grab the palette again with the Sigma E27 brush, and I'm just gonna be dipping into those shades that we did above, now below. So that's Stripped, Silhouette, and Nudist. And I'm just gonna sloppily bring this all along the lower lash line and then extending it to the wing just to give it like another subtle, soft blend. To set the face, I will be using my Makeup Forever Mist and Fix as always. Really great product if you're dry to normal because it really does soak the skin in the most beautiful way possible. For lashes, I'm going to be applying the Ardell Wispies in the number 122, but I cut them up. So these are strip lash that, if you can kind of see, I cut them up so they act a little bit more like individual lashes. I just really don't like the way strip lashes feel on my eyes. So when I cut them up, they're way more comfortable. So I'm just gonna apply these really quick and we're gonna put the lip on. Now for lip, I'm going to be using the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in 1.5. This is not a stranger to my channel. You see this all over my YouTube and Instagram. It is one of my favorite lip liners of all time, and this color is just perfect. And then I'm going to be topping it with the MAC lipstick in Honey Love. We're going to make this glow a little bit more, so I'm going to be using the Patrick Ta lip gloss in the shade She's Expensive. We're just going to pop it right in the center. After I do that though, and it gets on my applicator, I hate it, so I just take a little paper towel, just try to get the rest off of it because I don't want it tinting my lip gloss. I should have just scraped it on and put it that way, but oh well. Now if you want to amp up the glow a little bit more, you can do something to the body. So I'm going to do a little bit of something. I didn't really know what I wanted to use. I have the Patrick Ta Body Glow. I like it. I was also going to use this guy, which is beautiful, but I guess we don't have this anymore. It's like not on anywhere except for like eBay, so I didn't really want to use that either. I think it's probably too old. It doesn't smell though. So I think I'm just going to use the Juvia's Place highlighter. This is their loose one and it's in the shade Nefertiti. So I'm just going to open this up. Whatever's in the cap, I'm just going to take my Morphe 510 brush, kind of get a little bit of that off, and then just hit the high points. I love this highlighter because it has a really beautiful golden bronziness to it. I definitely couldn't wear this if I wasn't self-tanned. So this is great if you do have some color to you, especially during the summertime when you do have more of that tan glow. And then just applying a little bit on the high points of the shoulders just to give that little extra glow too. I seriously love this stuff because it looks so natural, and that's what I'm all about. I just want it to have a natural glow to it, not like I have highlighter or makeup on my body, just a beautiful subtleness. You can kind of see in the camera when it just turns. Ooh, I love it. Now to just take these bad boys off and kind of fluff the hair a little bit. But that's how I achieve my little golden hour glow. I hope you guys like it. I'm always one of those people who are chasing the sun. I'm a huge sun lover. Even though it's not that good for you, it is good for you and it's not good for you. It's good for you in so many like mentally stabling ways, but as far as like aging and like what it can do to you, I guess it's kind of bad. But that's all I have today for you guys, so I hope you enjoyed. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all my videos if you guys like to see more. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram. My name is Amanda Devon. We're a little bit more chit-chatty on there, and that's it. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.